Welcome back to joshuabergercarpentry.com. Today we had another old school versus new school challenge by popular demand. A few things have changed, as you may see. I've got rid of that horrible red t-shirt and I've had a haircut. So what have we got today, people? Today we have, as we can see over here, the Fein 18-volt drill driver. This is a brushless motor tool. It has a lithium-ion batteries, and there's a few features about this lovely tool which I'd like to show you. First of all, the question is, after someone who's used Makita for so many years, why am I no longer buying into Makita? Well, I'll say it myself and I'll vouch for this. Makita, your tools are not as good as they used to be. Maybe it's to do with the fact is that you're no longer using metal housings for your gears and they're plastic. Yes, you may use metal gears, but if they're not housed in something solid, they kind of defeats the point. So what do we have here? Well, it's a brushless motor. It has a handy little gauge on it to see how much power is in there. If you can press it again, we get 4 lights. Very clever, there's a few lovely features about this drill. First of all, in many ways, this is kind of the new style, the kind of Tesla of drills. It's fully electric. Even the torque settings are electric. There's kind of low on mechanism in here, more brain versus mechanism. So first of all, on this, we'll get into the speeds. Yes, this has to be one of the fastest drills on the market. It also, I think, is probably the only drill driver that has 4 speed options. As you can see from the top here, it's got speed 1, 2, 3 and 4, but you can actually change in any direction. You don't need to go through the sequences. So I can go from 3 to 2, I can go from 4 to 1. The speeds on this drill are actually quite extraordinary. In the first speed, and gear 1 shall I say, is 400 revolutions per minute. In gear 2 it's 800 revolutions a minute. In gear 3 it's 1950 revolutions a minute, which is already faster than my old previous Makita, which top speed revolutions are 1700 revolutions. And then in the 4th gear, the final top gear of this thing manages to go up to 3850 revolutions a minute, which quite honestly is extraordinary. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to need something that fast for, but I've actually tried it I've tried it with hinge cutters and it cuts them amazingly at that speed. Another feature about this drill is it does this. Yes, unbelievable. So it makes it shorter, but you can remove the chuck, and you can fit in a bit for purely driving in screws. This is a lockable drill bit. You pull it down, push it up, you can remove the bit, put it in, locks the bit off. Now, the one thing I was a little bit disappointed about this when I first bought this tool was the fact is that this piece is stuck in it. I initially thought it would be similar to my Festool drill, this little lovely thing here, which I may do a video on. This piece here also has a removable chuck like this, but this piece is interchangeable furthermore, so I can put other hex fittings into it. On this drill, this is permanently in here, so I can't replace this with another hex fitting drill bit or something else. This has to stay in here. So maybe ultimately when this thing fails, which will no longer hold the bits in, means I have to change the whole thing versus just being able to take out the insides. So that's probably the only downer about this. The other thing I've noticed about this drill, which I didn't think it was going to do, is it actually gets surprisingly hot. It's a fan cooled motor. The fan is in the top of this. It sucks in air through here and it blows it out the 2 sides like this. Maybe it would actually blow the dust away from when you're drilling, which could be a good feature, but I've yet to witness this. This is more theory versus reality. So I think what we should do is have a test, see how it drives things in, see how it works, maybe compare it a little bit to the old one. Although to be honest with you, I can hear people shouting already. It's not a fair comparison because this is a 14.4 volt drill versus an 18 volt drill. So this isn't exactly a standoff like my previous video of the impact drivers, old school versus new school, but it's definitely new school and old school technology, and we see how it fares. So in my next video, you can see how I do. Thanks again for the intro to these tools. joshuabergercarpentry.com. See you guys soon.